Hi guys, today's video will be about love, to find love, and also to lose it again. I feel betrayed and heartbroken, and I would like to talk about it. Of course not. Of course the video will not be like that. I'm not heartbroken. I even don't feel betrayed. I just would like to talk about the actual Defa Lucy release and also the last one, because there are some things I feel pretty much itchy about, and maybe some of you have the same feeling, and we can talk about it if you like to. And I thought it's simply more entertaining if you can watch something on the screen rather than only see pictures from their Instagram account. I think that's just too boring. I know this whole doll news thing is very popular nowadays, and a lot of people really like these, but I only would like to talk about Defa Lucy, and it makes no sense showing the same posts or same pictures all over again. And therefore I decided to open up this doll here to review it a little bit, at least with subtitles. So everything that I'm talking about will have nothing to do with box opening or styling of the doll. Maybe in the end, I hope I don't have to say so much about Defa Lucy. At least in the end of the video, I would like to talk about the styling as well. So let's begin. I guess everyone who stumbles across this video here already knows what Defa Lucy is, or better said Defa Toys, because I guess Defa Toys is the company name and Defa Lucy is the doll line. In a very recent comment I said that I'm very good with faces, but not so much with names and numbers, and I'm not quite sure if it was 2010 or 2012, but around that time, Defa Toys enriched the doll market with Barbie clone dolls. On their very new and recent website, they say that they were founded in 1989 and that the Defa Lucy line started in 2005, so maybe they even did clone dolls earlier, but I don't know. The things I found were from the early 2010s, so there's a high chance that they made Barbie clones or Bratz clones or whatever doll was worth to be cloned in the earlier 2000s. Even though it is a company that mainly or exclusively made clone dolls, the dolls were sold all over the world, because I even found a lot of them here on the German market secondhand, and I think I remember I even seen those Bratz clones in stores. So the company is not a small company, it is a pretty big company, and it was already back in the early 2000s pretty big. And at least at a certain point, Mattel was not really happy about this company, or that they did some kind of clone dolls. And I talked about that also in a previous video. I mainly based this information on a blog by an author named Purple Monkfish. The article is very well written, and I highly recommend to read it. Anyway, after this lawsuit, it seems that Defa Lucy had to change the face mode for their Defa Lucy line, and that's the reason we got all these very pretty new faces, and the most beloved one is the one that you can also see here in the review, the girl with the pouty lips. And I have to reveal my favorite name for this doll. When I made my research for the other video with the lawsuit, I have read some Reddit comments about Defa Lucy, and there was one person who named this doll the Dollar Store Poppy Parker, and ever since I really like to use that name off camera. I love that. Dollar Store Poppy Parker is awesome. And I can also tell you why I think it is so awesome. I don't know. I'm in the doll hobby for quite a time, and it is a very toxic community. No, I don't think that most of us who collect dolls are toxic, but the loudest ones, the ones that you can see all the time, regardless on what forum or website, there are people who always have to be outrageous or just over the top in general, and that's something I really do not appreciate at all. And sometimes I do have the feeling the more expensive the doll, the more obnoxious the collectors are. And the name Dollar Store Poppy Parker is a very good example for such behavior, since I do have the feeling that these people have to defend themselves because of the price they pay for a doll, or whatsoever. So it looks like they have to put something on a pedestal, and in this case it was Poppy Parker. I do not have a problem with Poppy Parker, but honestly, she's not the first one that has pouty lips. When you think about fashion dolls, the first girl that comes into my mind would be the Barbie Steffi mode, and she's even around since the 70s. And of course, Poppy Parker is not a knockoff of the Steffi face mode. And Mitzi is not a knockoff of Poppy Parker, and Defa Lucy is not a knockoff of Mitzi, Poppy Parker, or Steffi. They all do have pouty lips, but honestly, there's way enough room in the doll community on the doll world for all of these dolls. But still, so far Defa Toys only made clone dolls. And I also said this before, I think there's a difference if a company really copies the complete doll. For example, also reuses the face molds, so just as a recast. I can only say it like that. But in the end, Defa Lucy always made their own models for the bodies, the clothing, the faces. Were they highly inspired by the original product, like Barbie in this case? Yes, they were. And they still are, because the line they had that was very colorful, of course it's stolen from the Barbie Extra idea. There's no question about that. But still, it is China. It is a Chinese company. That's what they often do. And that's also something that happens in economy a lot of times. You know, the whole thing about MGA and Mattel and whatnot. So that's not the main issue here. The main issue here is that Defa Lucy very recent got a rebranding by Defa Toys. And I truly cannot say that they did a good job in my opinion. They decided that Defa Lucy will also get a collector's line, which is overall a very good and clever idea in my opinion, because the new faces, at least a few of them, do have a very good potential for a high-class fashion doll in my opinion. But still, the way they decided to launch their dolls is not so clever in my humble opinion. The first doll, here you can see her, she had this very pretty black jumpsuit, a jacket, very not so pretty shoes, but the face screening is very pretty. It is a very clear and nice face screening. I don't like the lashes. When you watch my channel, you know that I don't like rooted or applied lashes on fashion dolls, but I'm definitely in the minority for that, and that's totally fine. I still think this doll is very pretty. I really like the hair color. I also like the haircut. And with a price of $60, this doll is very awesome. But, a very big but. And you know, I like big butts and I cannot lie. Sorry guys, I had to do that. So, this first release was limited to 250 dolls. And I think that's a good number for a start. But you had to order these through Facebook or a Facebook mailing list and an exclusive retailer from Taiwan. And I have to say, I have never been on Facebook. Yeah, it is true. I don't care about Facebook. I never ever joined a Facebook group. I never made an account. I never joined a mailing list for a doll purchase. And I had absolute no interest to change it. Maybe you were also able to order this doll through Instagram, I guess. But honestly, that's not the way I would like to order dolls. And for a doll company or company in general that is in business for over 30 years, this kind of doll release is shady. And the second release, the actual release, is even shadier in my opinion. Now we do have here Series 1 Icon Model 1.5. It is basically the same doll just in blonde, and at least the coat does have a lighter color. It's a very pretty doll, and I can totally understand that they simply made a recolor. Doll production is very expensive, and still the doll company or the Defa Toys company cannot be that big. I don't think that. So they played it safe with this model here and just recolored the more limited one. This one here would have a number of 888 dolls, and in the first place it looked like they would do different websites. One website for the US release and at least one for the rest of the world. I had the impression that they would do a website at least for the European customers, because, you know, Europe is a bit annoying about taxes and all that stuff, and it is way easier for a European customer to buy from a website that already takes in all the taxes, and you don't have to pay on your doorstep. You even don't have to pay extra fees when the item comes to your door, because that's what I would have to do. I would have to pay even €7 on top of each package, regardless if I have to pay taxes for the actual shipping and the item. So that's on top each time as well. So it would have been nice to have this option, and I don't think that is so hard. There are enough sites that do it, and they are not so big. For example, of course you have the big sites like eBay, Etsy, you have AliExpress, you have Shein. You do have also other websites like, for example, Kikagoods. Kikagoods also does have the tax inbuilt, and also PopMart, for example. There's also a German officially store, or there are different European stores of PopMart. They also count in the taxes. Of course, some of these are very big sites, very big companies, but still I think Defa Toys would be able to do a shop like that on their own, or work together with, why not, AliExpress or Shein, or whatever Chinese website is accessible for people around the world. But they decided to do it like they do it, actually. So there is a website for US customer, and the US release seems to be the only thing that counts for them. That's what it looks like. But even then, you cannot really see the product on the site. You still have this idea of a mailing list, and you even cannot see the shipping costs or simply anything that could be interesting for a customer. So in the end, if you sign up this mailing list and maybe you're not happy about the shipping costs or anything else, you can of course deny to actual buy the doll in the end and pay for it, but they still do have all of your personal information. And yes, there is information about this also on their website that expressly explains that they will collect your personal information for personal advertisement, but also potentially for sharing it with third parties as well. Well, who would have guessed that, right? Anyway, it is what it is, and for the international release, they even used this Taiwanese reseller or distributor again for the US market leftovers. This sounds a bit bitter on my side, I have to admit that, but honestly, I'm really just annoyed about the whole situation. I don't know what is going on in their heads. I don't think that Defa Lucy, the whole doll line, or Defa Toys is on a position that they can afford this kind of behavior. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do have this status quo already. Who knows? I can only speak for myself, but that's not the way I would like to purchase dolls. This concept is not new to me. I have said it also quite some time, at least in the past. I liked to collect BGDs, mainly resin BGDs, and there are a lot of independent artists and small companies that also use mailing lists and maybe Instagram, for example, to sell their products, or normally over Taobao, and you need a proxy for that, for example. But overall, this here is simply not the same. Defa Toys is no Mattel. It is also no MGA, so this is a way smaller company. They do not have a lot of experience with a 100% original design, but still, I think it is not okay and it is not fair for the customers to sell the dolls the way they do. And I'm not interested in buying these dolls as long as they decide to sell their products this way. I will no longer buy Defa Lucy dolls, and therefore she is the last one that you will see on my channel that I unbox, style, and so on. Of course, I still do have all my other Defa Lucy dolls, and I really like them. I also like this face here, and in general, I think that the design of a doll, or especially the face of a doll, I think the face is the most important part, has nothing to do with the marketing of a company. I still like the design, and I think these dolls do have a potential to be a very good competition for Barbie. I know a lot of collectors talk about competition for Integrity toys. I do not agree with this, because Integrity is a whole different number. You have this idea of a over-stylized supermodel figure, and That's not what Barbie is, and that is also not what Defa Lucy is. Defa Toys decided to keep the original body type, so this shorter and more realistic body type that looks more like Barbie than fashion royalty in my opinion. And the lashes are not applied or glued on like with fashion royalty dolls. They are rooted like Mattel did it with Barbie. However, the packaging is way more integrity than Mattel, but even Mattel did boxes like this one here, so I don't know what Defa Toys was going for with it. It looks, of course, more pricey, and in my opinion, it is simply cheaper. You do not have any design on the box. There's no window that have to be glued in, and you cannot see the doll from the outside. Also, the doll is a little bit more secure in it, so I think it's a clever idea to save some production costs. But maybe I'm too salty and it is just a design choice. However, I talked a lot, and in the end, I said nothing. No, that's not the truth. I told you what I think about it, and I would love to hear what you think about the rebranding of Defa Lucy, and if you think that it is a fair way to treat collectors, and if you think that this way of purchasing is beneficial for you as a customer. I mean, there's one other point of view that came to my mind, and that might be an excuse for all the jazz they do with the release, and that might be the problem with bots. If they expected that bots would buy these dolls instead of collectors, it would make sense that they decided to do the first release like they did. But honestly, the second one, there are 888 dolls. And as I said, Defa Lucy is not the line that everyone is running after. I don't think so. I know they got a lot of attention lately, but not enough to be sold out in a few minutes. I don't think so. But on the other side, they are now talking about the thing that they have a kind of waiting list and they are checking the entries, so the ones who came first will get the doll and the others simply not. But there's again a big but. How is it if they would check who would like to buy the doll? Maybe influencer, maybe YouTuber, maybe someone else. Maybe they check who would like to get the doll and not even only who was first with the mailing list. But hey, that's only my guessing. I have no clue about it, and honestly, when you have a bigger company, they simply send out promo packages, so I don't know if it is so different. But in my opinion, I'm very interested in transparency and fairness, and as I said X times, I think that kind of selling an item or promoting a company does not feel very reliable. In my opinion, it leaves a nasty aftertaste. But maybe I'm unfair at this point. Maybe they are simply not capable enough to do a real legitimate shopping website. Or maybe they simply thought it would be a better idea to create a mailing list situation for customers who might like to feel elitist, because you have to sign up for this very special doll. You will be part of an elusive group that worked to get this doll. It's not just clicking on a button. You actually had to write down your personal information. Maybe it is that. Maybe it is a bonding marketing trick. I just don't know. It just does not work for me and I simply don't like it. But no harsh feelings. I have no problem if you are the one who really liked it and was happy about the release or is happy about the release and how everything works out. Since everyone has the right to their own opinion. This is here my channel and this here is my opinion. And I only made this video because I had Defa Lucy and quite some videos on my channel and I thought it would be a good idea to share my opinion on the rebranding of Defa Lucy, or the rebranding that we have seen so far. Anyways, here you do have the fully styled doll, including new body, outfit, new hairstyle and everything. I have to say I really liked this doll line of Defa Lucy, and I was very surprised that this doll here has saran hair. I had no idea that this is the case because I think I only saw 2 reviews for this doll. I know a lot of people do have this doll, so this is a very common Defa Lucy doll because of her overall or bodysuit. It looks nice on pictures. I'm not quite a big fan of the quality, to be honest, and it does not really fit a lot of different doll bodies. You have seen that, so I'm not over the moon about it. But I have to say, I really like the hair. It is great. I love that this doll does have saran hair, even though it is a bit sparsely rooted. You've seen you can do different hairstyles with it. Okay, maybe only one different hairstyle. The always and forever so-called Ariana Grande style, regardless if it is a full ponytail or a half ponytail, whatsoever. But of course you could do different hairstyles with this hair here. It is simply the hairstyle that I like to do. It is simple and it always looks quite nice in my opinion, but maybe I'm simply a little bit boring. That will be the case, I guess. But I had no other Defa Lucy with this hairstyle so far, so I'm good with it. And here you can also see her together with her sister. This girl here is from the same line than the blonde girl on the left. And I gave her the body that you have also seen this video. It is the pink white body that does have double jointed elbows but only single jointed knees. I think both colors do match the Defa Lucy head pretty good. So far I only used the white skin because I thought from the pictures that the pink white would be more pink. But when I got the first pink-white body, I realized that it is not so pink. So it does also work with these heads, but in person I like the white a little bit better. But I wanted to show both bodies with heads in full clothing, so that you, in case you would like to rebody a Defa Lucy head together with one of these bodies or with Manx bodies in general, can see what it would look like as a complete doll. But of course, to rebody the Defa Lucy dolls is not a must. It is a totally personal preference. I never liked the original Defa Lucy body, so I'm still very happy with my hybrids. And these two ladies here are the only ones that I'm aware of that do have saran hair, beside the collector's ones, of course. And at least the blonde one is still available on Shein, in case you do not have a Defa Lucy or not enough Defa Lucys, and maybe you also do not like to purchase dolls the way they sell them at the moment, because who knows, maybe they will launch a real website in the future. But for now I'm done with Defa Lucy, or they are dead to me. I don't care about their products and they can sell as long as they want. And I really hope that everyone who bought one of these dolls is happy with their dolls. I'm pretty sure the quality is nice, the dolls look very pretty, but I do not envy these collectors, or you as collector if you watch this video. I'm happy for you that you have a nice doll and that you are okay with this kind of marketing. Personally, I'm not okay with it, and believe me or not, in general, I'm a very principled person. That's not always a good thing, to be honest, but it is the case, and these dolls are not interesting enough to me that I will throw my ideas or roots over the pile. So, yeah, I hope you had some fun with my talking, I guess, and with the whole review situation that you were able to see on the screen. I'm pretty happy with my last Defa Lucy girl. Honestly, she is not the last one. I bought two different dolls. The blonde one here and also the older one that had red auburn hair. But I did not unbox her and I will not do it for the channel. I will just leave her inside of her box for a while, I guess, because I don't like her so much. But I bought her together with the blonde one because they were still available on Shein. And for the future there won't be more dolls on Shein, Temu or wheresoever, because they said or wrote that they only will sell the dolls through their websites. So let us hope that they do plan to create real shopping websites, or at least one website in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had some fun with this video, and I will see you next time again, hopefully. That will be hopefully on Monday, because originally I had planned to do a doll clothing haul for tomorrow, so Sunday. But honestly, this video here took me way longer to edit it as I had expected. But maybe a doll clothing haul video is also a nice thing for a Monday to watch. So, until then, I hope you have a great time. Bye!